Okay, so this is a short video to explain or to tell you how life works. How does life work? Um, I'm just sharing with you the wisdom, whatever I've learned from living quite a long time on the earth, and I just want to share it with you because it's pretty simple. Now the thing is that when you come here and you grow up, as you grow up, you have your parents and they love you. But then, so they're taking care of you, so you don't need to concern yourself particularly about that. But when you finish being a teenager and you become on your own and you're your own person, these are some things that might help you to understand and kind of give you a general kind of direction, or at least something to consider if you know how life works. And how it works is like this: when you have a companion who loves you and supports you, and also, it's necessary that they also worship God. I mean, there has to be an element of worshiping God, and I'll explain more about why that's necessary, why it's important to allow God to guide your life. At least pay attention and take care of, that God guides you to do something, do it, that kind of thing. But we won't talk about that just at the moment. But anyway, so you need to have a companion. Life is going to be much better when you have somebody that you can share things with, that you can commune with, and so forth. As you get my drift, and so on. And so, and one of the things that happens there is because actually God has been said by all the near-death experienced people who've have practically died and gone to the other side and connected up with the Almighty, among the many things that they say. But there's a general pattern, and I find this to be true in my own experience. Uh, is that the love of God is unconditional. So when you find a companion that's good for you, then you have children, and those children will love you unconditionally. And that's kind of like they're sort of a proxy for God. They remind you, they bring you back from whatever you've been thinking about, or whatever your idea about life is, that there is an unconditional love that exists toward you, and it comes from your kids. And it comes from the Almighty, but you're not so aware of that. You're caught up in this world. But when you have your kids, then you're aware of it. And so you have that condition, and you stay in that condition. Hmm? You have a good companion, and you have children. And then you need to find the way to, negotiate yourself and your affairs in this life. And the way to do that is to not pay any attention to money particularly. Don't pay attention to it, because money is not a reality. Money is something that man created, and you could almost say it doesn't exist in a certain way. But all the people, they all say, no, it exists, it's real, you have to have it. So it's a thing that man does. What man does has far less feeling in it, has far less love in it in general, you know. Particularly when we get busy building things and making things and stuff like that, we get more and more material, so there's less and less love. Because in the material world, there is no feeling. Money has, very little feeling in it, if any. Sometimes it does, because it came from a really good source, but in the general picture of it, there's not much there. So you can't, if you focus on money, your state will go down, your condition will drop, and you'll become more and more like some money. Do this, do that, and so forth and so on, and just become like an object yourself. Money is an object. So what you do is you find out what you really like to do. That takes a while, because generally when you're a kid, you think, well, I don't know. I mean, I like to do this. I like to play football. I like to kiss the girls, and I like math, or I like playing the guitar. I like music, or I like to run. And but that's not all I like. I mean, I like to eat too, and so it's kind of confusing when people, when you're younger, and they say. So some of the guidelines that you can see is like when you're doing something, if you feel really good doing it. Like if you're cooking, you feel I love cooking. I love to cook. I don't know, just something about it makes me feel good, and I'm lined up with it's a serve. It's like a thing. I'm in a good place, and I cook some good food, and people eat it, and they feel good from it, and it's all good. It's all good, and use a crock pot so you don't have to cook too much. But I mean, cooking, all kinds of things. Uh, there's a, yeah, anyway, I won't go there. So you find out what it is that you like to do. And maybe even, as people say, something you're passionate about. But of course, you can be passionate about things, and that passion can subside, or that passion can be something that's not quite aligned with what you really like. So it's better if you find something that you really like, and it's suitable to you and your state and your condition, uh, where you're at in life. If you don't understand where you're at means, you're obviously not a hippie, but you can look that up. You know, but it has a good meaning. Where are you at? Where are you at? It means where are you at in life? People are in different places in life. People have different understandings. So wherever you are, and you do that. So then you have your love, and you have your work, and you have a very comfortable, a very great workshop here that God sent you down here to work, and it's wonderful. The scenery is fantastic. Um, there are places to go and so forth and so on. But that's just kind of a kind of a good working condition. You don't want to get off track and think, oh yeah, that's what I love to do. Travel around the world, see the world. That's all I want to do. Or I mean, it's like, you know, mostly, it's like some kind of thing where you have a big party. Well, that's nice if you have something to celebrate and everything, but you don't want to become a party person. You don't want to confuse the the thing you're getting some relief, because it's hard to be a human being. There's a lot of choices, a lot of understandings, all kinds of things. Just learning about yourself. There's so many different aspects of yourself. You don't realize it at first, but eventually, but eventually you start to see, well, God, I've got this kind of thing I do. I have an emotional life. I have a mental, it's a mental life. I have this kind of life and that kind of life. So those are those things. Now, and so that's a good life. You know, pay attention to what you need in a regular life. Find what you want to do and do that. Um, don't focus on stay with the positive things. Um, learn not to criticize other people. For instance, learn to take care of their feelings. Life is hard, so people will like you, and you'll like yourself, and everything will go well if you take into consideration other people and their feelings, and uh, you don't try to make life harder for them, inadvertently perhaps, but still make life hard for them. You criticize their idea, you criticize them, you say, oh, that's just a bunch of crap, or whatever it is you might be tempted to do. Stay away from all the positive, all the negativity. That's what life is all about. Unconditional love, um, using what God gives you, your talents, and putting them to work, which will make you feel like you're in heaven in itself. If you're really doing something you like, it'll be good. There'll be challenges and tests to see about different aspects of yourself. What you're good for, and whether you fall apart when God throws something at you that's tough. Um, what kind of level of depth of acceptance you have. But anyway, that's a good life. That's how life works. Okay. Now, coming to the techniques or the inner workings of this, um, we're very lucky at the present time because God gives you a direct contact with the power of God. It's subtle. It doesn't. You go ahead and lead your life. You go ahead and be you. Go ahead and do what you do, and you don't need to concern yourself with this. But there is that direct contact, which is available on the earth to anyone who wants it. And in that process, it kind of restores the things that are wrong in man, brings them back to where they should be, puts things in their place. For instance, your heart and mind should not be running your life. And these days, they run a lot of people's lives. Your emotions, your passions, your different instruments that you have to use should not be using you or running things, or have somehow gotten into the forefront, so that now all you ever listen to is your passions. Well, I don't like that, and I don't like that, and here's what that's a person listening to their passions, or they're all mental. Well, we have to look at we have to analyze this very carefully, and we have to see, or the heart, like, I just love this, I just really want to do this all the time. I just really love all these people, I just love this, and I love dogs, and I love cats, and I love myself, You don't want those kind of instruments with those kind of forces and general aspects running your life. You're supposed to run your life to some extent, but you also need to be open to the Almighty, because the Almighty, who is the one who knows about this life and knows about you and everything? Well, that's the Almighty, and He knows way more about you than you know about yourself. He created you, and so and He loves you. So when He guides you to do something, you want to be right there. Yeah, you want to. Yeah, okay, I'm doing that. And you have to know when you're being guided by God and when you're being guided by something else. All these things you can easily get through receiving this new contact with the power of God. And so life works like that. And if you go off in one direction or another, it doesn't work. You get to the end of your life, you haven't learned your lessons. You're not that happy. When you die, you'll go to the place where you are, and you'll exist there until you come back here and have another go at it. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. That's the big picture, as far as I'm able to know. I would stake my life on those things. I'm sure there's more to it, and one can talk, one can think about it. But I counsel you not to think about it. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. That's a general picture. You can put it back. You can just kind of, if it resonates with you at all, you can kind of put it back there in your something you heard, something you learned. Then as life goes on, you can see, is that true or not, what Lambert said? Is it true that my children will love me unconditionally? Is it true that I feel a lot better, have a better life when I'm in harmony with everybody else? And all those kind of things of being in harmony with other people and just generally functioning are all things that you're at a certain point with it. But the Almighty will kind of subtly instruct you as you go along of how you can do something better, how you can close the door better, how you can wash dishes better, how you can make a better business. God has always said, the Almighty is always improving itself. and testing itself. And so you'll find that, in general, our lives reflect that kind of thing. You know, there's an improvement that comes from the guidance of God, and we're kind of a part of it. We say, oh yeah, this works better. It's always God who knows the truth. But it's not a thing where you're always kind of turning around looking at God. You just go ahead, be yourself, try to, like, be your own, who you are, more you, be who God created, and that's your best shot. So, just in general, that's a picture. I don't want to go on and on. That's a general picture of how life works. Okay? All right. There you Okay. Bye bye.